Am I wrong for giving my son only my last name? When I found myself staring at the hospital paperwork after my son's birth, there was just one blank left, the last name. My hands trembled, memory replaying the months that had led here to this fraught, uncertain line. Dee and I had been together for 3 years. We were the kind of couple who insisted we didn't care about marriage and that labels weren't important. But after my first unplanned pregnancy ended sadly, and I learned I had hyperemesis gravidarum, a brutal sickness that made pregnancy nearly impossible to manage, I wasn't sure what together really meant anymore. When I got pregnant again, I braced myself, and Dee and I made escape plans for when things got hard. Sure enough, I was soon bedridden, sick beyond reason, and begging for relief. Dee tried in the beginning. He took me to the hospital, but hospitals made him anxious, so he came only once, leaving the rest to my mom. She cooked for me, cleaned up my mess, and found a specialist who finally gave me some relief. Through months of misery, Dee drifted. He rarely called. Once I was well enough not to need constant help, he'd occasionally ask me to visit his apartment to restock his groceries. He was on EBT too. Even then, even after all that, every visit felt cold and quick, like I was a visitor, never a partner. I should have seen it coming, but I was too tired to care when the big fight hit. I missed one day, of helping him move heavy furniture, and he blew up. We split up. Co-parenting talks happened, but we spoke like strangers negotiating a deal. I wanted my baby to have both our names, at first. When Dee got arrested a few weeks before my baby shower, I panicked. When he called from jail, I asked about our car. He let slip that a friend had driven it back for him. Only later did I learn he'd already started seeing someone new, even before we formally broke it off. At that moment, something shut off in me. I stopped fighting for a connection. I told him only what was necessary, never more. I went into labor without telling him. I wanted peace, not drama in the delivery room. After my son was born, Dee came for an hour, quiet and distant. The next morning, when that line on the birth certificate stared at me, asking for my son's name, I made a choice. My last name only. Later, Dee returned and saw the certificate. He exploded, demanded to know why I robbed him of his legacy, insisted that our son deserved his name. I remembered, though, that he already had another child, one without his name. I wasn't doing this for spite or payback. I did it because my son would mostly have me, my family, my effort. I didn't want him to carry a name that might mean very little if Dee continued to drift away. Almost a year's gone by, and Dee's visited just 4 times. The last time, our son wasn't even old enough to remember him. Sometimes I wonder if it was too final, if maybe my son will want to know his other half when he grows up. But I look at the little boy who shares my last name, the name of the person who will always be there for him, and I know I made the best choice I could with what I had. Was I wrong for leaving Dee's name off? Maybe some will say so, but this wasn't about revenge. It was about giving my son a sense of belonging and a fresh start, untied to someone who never truly showed up.